Hi and hello. The topic for today's video presentation is Introduction to Basic Statistics. And in this video, we are going to discuss about simple things. First thing first, like what is statistics, its definitions, what are the different types of statistics, and also the functions, its importance, and what are the limitations of statistics. And to begin with, what is statistic? And I believe you all have come across this word before. And yes, I believe you do. What is statistics? Basically, to begin with, let me take a few examples for during election, election period. So the night or the day, the night before the election is result is declared, people will start gathering and then trying to collect informations about okay how many votes they are going to get from area A, B, C, and as such which candidate is going to win or lose. And winning or losing of the election of the elections is actually determined when the votes are expressed in terms of numbers, isn't it? So when anything that is being expressed numerically, then we are using statistics. In the same way, in the same context, you can think of about, for example, any sports. For example, let's say the simplest one is cricket. So let's say the first team has a bat, and the second team is chasing the run. So what happened now? Say after in between the hours or in between the period, what happened now that the chasing team is expected to reach or not the target which is given by the first team. What did they do? They use statistics, isn't it? So actually what I'm trying to convey here is that statistic we have been using it in our day-to-day life, and sometimes we might realize it or sometimes we don't. And anything now, what is statistics? Statistics actually, to be specific or to be in a simple way to say it's that it's actually just a tool that we use to derive or to where information is derived from based on the objective of the study or based on the topic of interest. Or in other words, I can say it is a tool that we're using to derive information from certain subject of interest. And basically, this information that we derive will give us an overall picture of the information that we wanted to know about. All right, so this is in the simplest way you can say what statistic is. And by book definition, according to Seligman, statistic is the science which deals with the methods of collecting, classifying, presenting, comparing, and interpreting the numerical data collected to throw some lights on any sphere of inquiry. And another definition as given by Croxton and Cowden is say that statistics deals with collections of data related to its objective, its organization, analyzing, presenting, and finally its interpretation. And to put these two definitions into a simple form, I like to say that to say that statistics is a science which deals with the collections of data and you classify them and then you analyze and present the data in which you can interpret what information that data gives to you. And that's method and technique is known as statistics. To make it simple, let's take an example of, let's say there are 10 students in the class. Okay, I am interested in knowing what is the weight category of these different students. So what do I have to do? There are 10 students. So what I have to do, first thing first, I have to collect the informations from the students about what is their weight. So I'll go to each and every individual students and then ask about the weight, or maybe use a measuring, using a weighing machine and then maybe take the weights and then record it. So that is what I do. I collect it. And after I collect it, I have to organize the data in such a way, depending on what factors that you want to do. Organize it, tabulate it, and then present it. And what I do so let's say now these 10 students here, okay, their weight is already here. Now how do I present it? Let me present it in a graph form. Now the moment you see here, you see that there are 10 students at the different weights. And you see that the weight varies from 35 to almost 80 plus. All right. So based on this diagram here, you can easily see that A is, is the lightest students of all, and student B is the heaviest in terms of the weight. It's very easy to spread, isn't it? So it's very, just by looking at the data here, it might be quite difficult at one glance to see which students is, has the least and which has the highest weight of all. But the moment you look here, in one glance, I can determine who is the high, which has the maximum weight, which one is at the minimum weight. So this is where when statistics is used, data can be presented and easily be understandable to the students or to anyone who look at it. Let's take another example. Let's say I'm interested in knowing about what is the temperature, daily temperature recorded for the last 2 weeks. So what I do is, let's say for the last 2 weeks, we take all the temperature for day 1 to day 12, for example. Just an example. Then this temperature. Again, by looking, I have collected the data, but just by looking at the data, it'd be quite tough for me to interpret what is that in the data. But if I use statistics, this data can be kept in this presented in this manner. And the moment I look at this graph, what do I see? What I see is that the temperature was, the maximum in the day 1 of the last 2 weeks, and it was minimum was here, and the maximum was on the day 6. And it is now, by using statistics, those data which we collected, it's very easy to present and it's easily understandable to us as well. Okay, that's why we use statistics. All right, so statistics is basically, it helps us in simplifying the data that we're collecting. Okay, that's the importance or the significance of using statistics. And statistics are, however, broadly classified into 2 different categories. One is called as the descriptive statistics, and the other is called as the inferential statistics. And we will be discuss each of these in this video presentation today, one by one. To begin with, let's see what is descriptive statistics. Just have a look at the slides. What are you going to see? We will discuss it. Now, for descriptive statistics, basically, data are presented in the form of a table or a histogram, or maybe a bar diagram or a pie chart or a line diagram. I think you all have seen this kind of images before. These kind of images before, and these are like tables, histogram, bar diagram, pie chart. So this is how we use or we present the descriptive statistics. And for the what are the commonly used statistic for doing the descriptive analysis? We use for example, we use the commonly used one are the frequency distribution, frequency polygon, measure of central tendency like mean, median, mode, measure of dispersion, standard deviation, and then so on and so forth. Uh, so basically, these are the things which we're going to learn in the later stage. So what happened now in descriptive statistics? In descriptive statistics, what happened is that whatever the data that you accumulate or you're collecting from the object or from the subject of interest, you collect the information, okay? You collect the data, and these data are presented, okay, in whatever format that you want, maybe the pie chart, or maybe a bar diagram, etc. And that data represents the subject of interest. Okay, so in a very simple way, whatever data you collected is summarized, organized, and present the data, and that is called a descriptive statistic. And now in descriptive statistic, it is used mainly to represent the information that is available in the data itself only. Okay. However, result of descriptive statistics cannot be extended to a larger population. Okay, for example, whatever statistic that I share with you, for example, the weight of those 10 students, in that diagram, in that results, what is indicated? It indicates only the weight of those 10 students. It does not indicate of the additional students which will be there. It's very specific, and it indicates only to the information that is present in the data. Okay, so this is what is descriptive statistics. Now, what is an inferential statistics? Inferential statistics, the most commonly used statistic that we use for determining inferential statistics are, I think you've heard of this chi-square test, correlation analysis, regression analysis, t-test, z-test, f-test, ANOVA. All of this we will be discussing in the later stage. This is just the beginning for you, which type of statistics is which. All right. So now these are the commonly used inferential statistics. And then in inferential statistics, we always take samples from the population, because maybe it is impossible to collect the info data from the entire population. So what if we do is that we just take a representative from the population, and that will be a sample, and that's how we and whatever the results that is obtained from the samples, and that will be inferred in for the populations. And inferential statistic is basically what happened is, like I said, is we just draw a conclusion or inference about the characteristics of the population based on the sample that you studied. So now the difference between differential statistics and inferential statistics is that in descriptive statistics, you derive, or the information that is given in the data is only from the information that you get is only from the data which is collected. But for inferential statistics, what the information about the population can be explained or be elaborated or predicted based on the data that you get from the samples. All right, so there's a difference between inferential statistics and descriptive statistics. And inferential statistics are further subdivided into estimation, inferential statistic, and testing of hypothesis. When you try to estimate about the population based on the samples only, for example, you're using regression analysis, then this is called an estimation inferential statistics. And testing of hypothesis is where you'll have the null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis, and you're trying to reject or to accept these hypotheses, and then you're going to using different type of inferential statistics such as z-test, t-test, ANOVA test, all those, and these will be in the later stage. So these are the two different types of subclasses of inferential statistics. Now let's come to the different functions of statistics. See, whatever the information that you collected, okay, those information, if you just keep it at there, it's like it's just a sack of potato. It will be difficult for you. What is it? But when you use statistics, it simplify those raw data which you collect. It simplified the raw data, and then it also statistics presented the data in a very understandable way. Okay, and another function of statistics is it facilitates comparison. Say, for example, if I want to compare the qualification of a 5 individuals and the salary. And if you see the one with highest qualification and the one with the lowest qualification, there is a difference between this. So statistics help us in getting that information. And also it also helps on in building a correlation between different variables. For example, the same examples I gave you, qualification and salary. Okay. And statistics also helps us in forecasting or predicting the upcoming, or maybe the predicting on any particular subject of interest. For example, we can use statistics to predict will be the outcome of after 2 or 3 months of this current situation of COVID-19. And another important functions of very important functions of statistics is it help in formulating, testing hypotheses, and even help in developing of a new theories in research. Okay, these are the few functions of statistics and why it's important. And now, anything is important when its application is like diverse, isn't it? So similarly with statistics. So statistics has a great role in different areas on different sectors. For example, in industry, statistic is used to determine the consumer or the producer or the what do you call this in relation to what do I say demand and supply. Statistic is used in terms of health industry. Statistic is used to monitor the daily rise of COVID-19 around the world, for example. And in research, we use statistics to understand the particular problem under different conditions to determine is the research is going in the right way or not. Okay. And for example, social science, statistics is used to determine, the reliability or the validity of the hypothesis that they're choosing. And in the same way, demography, for example, we use statistics to, to determine what's the percentage of male and female, for example, here in a particular state or in a particular village or in a particular area. So statistics has a diverse application. It's quite helpful, and actually plays a very crucial role in different sectors of the world. Okay, statistics is everywhere actually, right? Now let's see what are the different limitations of statistics. Statistics deals only with quantitative data, but it's not applicable to qualitative data. Yeah, and if you're talking about height or weight, that is quantitative data. But if I talk about qualitative data, such as, for example, sex, color, hair color, or maybe religion, in this aspect, statistics is not that much applicable. And another limitation of statistic is more interested about only in a group of data or average and aggregate data, but not on an individual or a single data. And whatever the results or the conclusion that we derive from statistics, they are approximate and they are not 100% sure. Unlike the other law of natural science and others like law of gravity and law of thermodynamics and all. Okay, so that's why this is the limitation of statistics. And statistics, if used wrongly, will give a wrong results. For example, if statistics is being used in predicting the efficiency of any particular drugs. And so what happened now if they use statistics unknowingly statistics used, so whatever the output of the drugs maybe will not be what it's supposed to be. And another most important thing is statistics is used as a method for studying a particular problem, but it is not it is not used, or maybe it's just a method where we're using it to study the problem, but not in finding a solution. But it can even do it give us tips or ways to find a solution. Okay, so these are the different topic that we discussed for today's video presentation. And I hope you'll understand what I'm trying to convey. And I apologize since this is the first time. So if there's any shortfall, please comment or maybe kindly suggest what I can improve myself as well. So with this, I'd like to say thank you so much, and then God bless. Thank you so much for your attention, and bye-bye.